Good morning, pregame crew. It is Monday, January 23rd, 2023, 8:21 a.m. Eastern, 6:21 a.m. Mountain Time. Welcome to the show. What I do here every morning around 6:30 my time, this far right clock in this far right corner, around 6:30 is where I'll get started with indices, commodities, crypto, movers and shakers of the day. Between now and then, I'm going to say hello to my friends, do an audio visual check, and take a few chart requests. Good morning, George, Greg, Joe, Night Truck, hey, B-Hawk, Kevin, Andre, Whitney, Carlos, Homebody, Mighty, Casey, hey, Mal, Pretty Homeless, hey, Wave, Joe, the Nightbot really doesn't like your emojis, so sorry it keeps deleting them. Hey, Sam, Mal, hey, Duke, Topher, where you been? Hey, Michael, Train Man, Ludovic, Keith, thank you. Night Truck and Tess, hey, Wave, thank you. Hey, Corey, Ed, bonjour, Roger, Diego, Chuck, Homebody, Brent, Top Motion, Robert, Australia. Oh, I want to go there. Hey, Jose, Ponzi. Let's go back up to the top. Let's see. Hut. Hut is a blockchain crypto-related name. It should be having a good morning. It is. It's getting a little bit ahead of itself here. It is over the high of last week. If we look at the Bitcoin has a potential daily bull flag, but you see on the hourly how we're not over Saturday's high. Well, I guess Hut didn't trade on Saturday. I'm saying that Hut is making higher highs in the pre-market, and if you look at Mara, it isn't yet over last week's high. Riot isn't. So Hut is definitely a leader in this area. I hope I made sense, and that's why I take chart requests, so I can get warmed up, because it takes a while to get the engines running. Support in after hours, $1.88. Then $1.76. I'd have a hard time being long this name up here or trying to get long. If you're already long, you just keep moving your stops up. This is in a tough place for me. Your next resistance on the daily is up at 229. Good morning. Hey, Mary. Hey, Luciano. Hey, Dustin in Arizona. You were on vacation, Topher? See, I notice when you're gone because I love saying your name. So I notice when you're not here. My Med is doing a gap fill. Looks like the gap is at 552. 377 is our resistance. I wouldn't say it's doing a gap fill yet. I guess it did enter that territory when it got over 371. But now we got 377 to contend with from last Wednesday. Davos, wow. You must be someone famous. They had all the big CEOs back there last week. And Becky, Quick, and Joe, and Andrew, they were all back there. Hey, brother, how's it going, Red Devil? Let's look at PEP. So MNMD looks good. I think 377 is going to be a pretty formidable resistance. Okay, that's a big word. Okay, now my vocabulary is picking up. Hey, Chex Landscaping and Paul over in Trading View. How are you? Good morning. PEP. What do I think about the daily? I think it is lacking a pep in its step. You see what I did there? You have a gap down here at 164.27. Would not be shocked to see that filled. Not saying that it will fill, but with the bear momentum they got on this name, it's possible. Attempting to get over the hourly EMAs as we speak. 170.10's resistance. Nice hammer on Friday. Now we need to confirm that today. It's a bullish reversal candle. And speaking of bullish reversal candles, we are having a course sell. We have essential candlesticks, entries and exits, which is my favorite, and it just got updated with Dan's additional 5 years of experience added to the course. And we have a cryptocurrency course. So you can take any of these courses, buy any of them with a 40% discount. We only do this sell 1 week a year, and this is valid until January 26th. I think that's Thursday. Discount code STUDY40, STUDY40. So the link is pinned right here at the top of chat. He may be part of Davos. You never know, homebody. Hello, hello. I have time for another chart request. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Mike. Hey, Jimbo in Canada. Awesome Zero. Paul Josh, hello. Yep, I trade gold. And I will be going over gold. As soon as I get done with the indices, I will then do crypto, and then I'll do commodities, and I'll go over gold, oil, and nat gas every morning. If you're new here, I rip through about 25 charts in 25 minutes, and my goal is to get you ready for the trading day. So we do have some data this morning. I wanted to show you the difference on investing.com. You see the 1 star, that's low volatility expected. 2 stars, moderate volatility. 3 stars, high volatility. We know as of late that we have had some liquidity issues, and these algos start running on data or dropping in pre-market, and they're able to make headway on data that should be not very meaningful. Like the US leading index is at 10 a.m. this morning Eastern. I always set a reminder for those data points that come out 30 minutes after close. It has 1 star, so I'm not expecting it to move the market, but we never know. So let's go look at what should move the market this week. We have GDP on Thursday, and we have PCE on Friday. Those are 2 pieces of very, very large data. And we have new home sales on Thursday, 30 minutes after open, and pending home sales Friday, 30 minutes after open, in addition to the jobless claims on Thursday. So these are the data points that we need to monitor that could move the market. Yo, Red Moon. Top of the morning to you, Robert. Okay, you want to look at MARA? 865 and 886 are your resistances. Support $8. And then 747, MARA is up 2%. Bitcoin had a very good weekend, so this isn't surprising that these crypto and blockchain related names are running in pre-market. I would just keep moving up my stops if you're in a long. And if you're looking for a short, I would be a cautious bear at 865. And I would want to see price actually pause and do a 2-minute trend change to the downside. Let me change the color of my pen. You would want to see it change the trend at least on the 2-minute, pausing at that 865. So you get confirmation through price action and volume. Those are the 2 pieces of data you need for confirmation that bears could be stepping in a meaningful way. Okay. Workhorse, and then we'll get started. That's a nice rounded bottom. Not bad. Had a big Friday. Your key resistance is 224. Actually, 212, the high of Friday. You're barely over that at the moment, and then 224. And your support is 208, then 203. I will look at gold. Not a problem. All right. Let's get started. Good morning. Welcome to the pregame show. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori, and I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. You want to give me a follow on Twitter? That would be great, at Chart Gal Lori. I would appreciate that. What I do here every morning is I have notes that are off screen, And I use these notes to keep me moving along in a linear way and as succinct as possible, at least as far as I'm capable of being succinct. And we have this table, and I share those notes, by the way, with TCG members when I'm done. I have this table that I generate every morning. There is some subjectivity to this table, so just know that if you would do this table, you'd probably get likely a different score. Hopefully it would be close. But the arbitrary ranking that I give it is based on my trading experience. And so for the day, definitely leaning bullish as evidenced by price action and this table. Again, I mentioned that we have data coming out at, well, let me go look again. I already messed up my filters. I put the 3 stars. We have data coming out 30 minutes after market open, U.S. leading index, something to be aware of. And I mentioned we have GDP on Thursday. We have PCE on Friday. We have Microsoft and Tesla earnings this week. And semiconductors are going to get kicked off with LRCX. So just know that we've got a lot of market moving events this weekend. We have an hourly higher high. We have a 4-hour confirmed bull flag. Odds favor a daily lower high compared to 403,525. Let's see what this yields. Okay, so when we had the low, let me confirm my numbers, of January 6th, that swing low of January 6th at 3819 to the swing high of Tuesday, January 17th, we retraced approximately 65% of that move. So that's why I use words like daily lower high is the more likely scenario. Odds favor a lower high. Once you pull back 65%, it's typically more difficult to go take out that last high on your first attempt. Now, we've bounced wonderfully, and EQ is actually the more likely scenario here. So when we talk about most likely scenarios or probable scenarios, that's what we're using is the size of retracements to determine what's more likely to happen. And it's not a higher high. Now, I will tell you, these bulls have wonderful momentum. I'm not saying go step in front of this bull train. I'm saying 403,350 should be pretty, I'm going to use the word again, formidable resistance up here. It's very difficult to drop to these lower lows and then just zoom to higher highs. So on the 4-hour, we lost our uptrend and we're bouncing beautifully. A lower high is still expected compared to 403,350 and then 403,525. Those are those two resistances. Right now, bulls have favor. Good morning. Hello, hello. All right, so we got our bearings with ES. Y'all can tell when I read chat, I totally lose my place of what I'm doing here. So let's look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ's in a different boat. You see we only retraced approximately 42% of that swing low from January 6th to the high of January 18th. We only pulled back about 40%. Do you see how it's more shallow? So a higher high is possible. It's absolutely possible with NASDAQ. NASDAQ is set up just a little better than ES. All right, RTY. Let's do the same calculation. Now, I could probably use this low, that low. Let me stay consistent and use the low from around January 6th. Okay, we retraced about 50% of that move on RTY. So a lower high is not a given. We could zoom to a higher high because we only retraced about 50% of that move. And let's just finish this up nice and neat. I don't have to get my percentage thing out with fibs. We can see it retraced about 85% of that move. So YM is definitely the weakest. Struggling here at the 4-hour EMAs. We had this bear flag last week. This is a drawing from last Wednesday. And that resolved to the downside in a big way. So YM is definitely the laggard and NQ is definitely our leader. Does that make sense how I just kind of walk through the 4 indices using math to figure out who is the strongest and who is the weakest and what are the more probable scenarios? And that's what trading is. That's what we do here every day is get you ready for the trading day and determine more likely scenarios to have you prepared. Now let me just check everything. There are 271 of you currently on and only 82 likes. If you could hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. You're in love, Red Moon? Me too. Me too. Okay, so that was ES, NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, if NASDAQ gets that higher high, I wouldn't say it's game over for ES Bulls achieving a higher high. They could possibly achieve that higher high with this NASDAQ strength. It can buoy the market. And you know what else is super strong this morning, which is my personal favorite? Semiconductors. Semiconductors are strong. They have relative strength. Semiconductors are the fuel to the market's engine. Okay, YM, your next key resistance is up at, let me delete all this, is up at 34129, 34129, and your hourly support is at 33438. Good morning, Lee. Okay, US 10-year is strong, and this is a counter argument to the market. With the US 10-year strength, you would think NASDAQ would be having a headwind, and it's not. So that's some bull divergence that the market is able to kick US 10-year concerns to the curve and continue to go stronger. So that is some bull divergence. And if you notice here, oh, I should have that there. Okay, I messed that up. Okay, so 95 points for the bulls and not 88. So a little bit, another point or a couple points in favor of the bulls here. XLF and XLV are a little weaker than the other S&P indices, but again, it's not game over for them either. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a beautiful weekend. I hope some crypto folks in our room, I know that they were able to take advantage of it. I personally didn't trade it, but it looks beautiful. I admired from afar. Support 22298, resistance 23082. Okay. We have a 4-hour EQ equilibrium on Ethereum, resistance 1664 and then 1680. If you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the link below in the video description to receive a PDF explanation. Why do I have so many indicators on my chart? Someone asked over in TradingView. I don't think it's a lot of indicators, but if it's too many for you, by all means, take them off. I use the 8 and 21 EMA and the 50 and 200 simple moving averages. I use the TTM squeeze and RSI, and that's about it. The yellow candles are just inside bars. So it works for me. I have a pretty successful track record. I'm not perfect, but pretty successful track record, so I'll keep using them. All right, Ethereum has that 4-hour tightening pattern. It had a beautiful weekend as well, holding up just fine. And if crypto is our canary, which it has been, it had a great weekend. We could look for strength in yesterday's futures opening due to the Bitcoin canary issue. And canary just means it's giving us a heads up, using the saying canary in a coal mine. All right. Gold. You wanted to look at gold. I look at it every day. Daily chart is beautiful. RSI is 69, starting to cool off a little bit on the daily. Weekly, we're opening up inside last week's huge range. 4-hour is giving up a little bit here. We got a lower low at 1920. Your next support is 1902. Hourly, we're losing the EMAs. This may make for a decent short. If we were to lose 1920.40, I think you could enter a micro gold short here. Where would your stop be? Your stop would be over 1930, so about $10. Well, here we go. Here we go. Gold is looking pretty weak. Your next support is down at 1908. Oil. Excuse me 1 second. Oil is strong. So I'm going to use my words carefully, or choose my words carefully. We're approaching this 82.66. We hit 82.57 and we didn't break it. We are up at daily resistance. So if we were to lose this 5-minute, we've lost the 5-minute uptrend actually. 15 minutes still holding the 8 EMA like a boss. But I like a short of oil is counter trend, meaning the more probable scenario is bullish follow through due to the size of this move. So you have a high probability of getting stopped out, but your risk to reward is pretty good here. We have a little diamond bearish reversal pattern forming here on the 5-minute, looking for a potential daily lower high. Now, it's an exact trade, and sometimes exactness, retail traders and very inexperienced traders love to use exactness, meaning you know where your stops are and you know where you're going to abandon the trade. Where experienced traders and institutions, do you think they wait for support by a penny before they move money around? No. They don't worry about exactness. They just get in when they want to get in, and that's it. However, it does provide a clear level of where you would stop out and where you would be wrong if it were to get a higher high over 82.66. So I like a short in oil, high probability of getting stopped out. Nat gas, it's got its bull, what is that? The blue suede shoes on. It has got its bull suede shoes on this morning. Daily is testing the 8 EMA. Has a lot of work to do. A whole lot of work. Hourly is not overbought yet. Your next resistance is up at 3.644. I think you could look for a pullback buy against 3.418. Congratulations, Nat Gas Bulls. I was talking about this on Friday that I'd be very careful swinging Nat Gas short, even though you had been winning for a long time, because it tends to rip your face off on Sunday night's futures opens, and here we are. Casigo, if you click on the bottom of this video, there is a link for a PDF explanation as to what everything is on my chart. And also on our YouTube channel, we have a video how to set up your chart like Dana or Lori. So, okay. Did Nat Gas support, gave you that. All right, Apple. Apple 4-hour double top when I was looking at it a few hours ago. 138.61. We're still struggling here at that level, but overall we're green. NASDAQ is strong. I wouldn't be shorting Apple. I'd be looking for a pullback buy compared to 137.22. Amazon. Now, a 4-hour lower high is the more likely scenario compared to 99.32. Bulls have more strength than Apple this morning, so I don't know that I'd step in front of that 99.32 very confidently. I'd rather be a pullback buyer. So if we could approach that 99.32 and then do a little handle here, because this sure does look like a cup. Does that make sense? So I'm pretty bullish Amazon this morning. Nvidia, I'm very bullish because it's a semiconductor. It is over the high of last week. Showing everybody who's boss. With this not so stellar cup and handle, but we're going to call it a cup and handle nonetheless. And SMH made my list this morning because of its cup and handle. So semiconductors, NVDA, and now mind you, we do have earnings this week that could impact these names. So I'm just thinking of them in terms of day trade today. And I'm watching SMH. If it stays as strong as it is, market shorts are not going to work with semiconductors putting on this kind of bull show, in my opinion. Tesla. Relative strength here. Same thing as Amazon. Do y'all see this? If we just get a tiny, not that big, just like that big, a tiny pullback and a tiny 4-hour bull flag, it would be a beautiful 4-hour cup and handle. Tesla is strong. Yeah, I love Tesla. We are overbought on the hourly, so I would wait for a pullback buy. CRM. Dixie's pumping. It is. Market is pulling back in light of this dollar move to the upside. But it's not pulling, the market's not pulling back in a gross, terrible, precipitous way. So I think we could recover from this. We've just pulled back $5 from that 4,000 even ES level. By the way, who took advantage of Friday's 39.30? We talked about 39.30 in pre-market and how important it was that we get over 39.30. And if we were to open above 39.30, that's game on bulls. Did you take advantage of it? Because I had written on here 39.30 was the level. We talked about the auction that had been going off at that level with the multiple touches. There was obviously the Compton Street where the fight was going to go down between Bulls and Bears. And if they were to push over it, Bulls would be the obvious winner. Well, that's what happened. So now we're at 4,000 psychological. I should have mentioned these levels. I did to a degree, but I just want to write it like I did Friday so you get it. 40.30. is going to be major resistance for these ES bulls. If they can get through that and above it, game on bulls. All right, now let me go back to what I was saying. Oh, CRM. CRM, activist investor Elliott Management took a multi-billion-dollar position in CRM. Obviously, they believe in whatever they're selling, Salesforce. So it's having a pretty major bull day. It already had a bull break on Friday, and I think pullbacks are for buying, and you could look for first 5-minute oversold. Let me see. I don't know if we're going to get it with this type of bullish news. I doubt that we would get to 30 RSI on 5-minute today, but if we were, I'll be there. JPM. All right, I see a lot of chart requests coming in the room. Just know that I'm ripping through charts as fast as I can, and it's most important to me for me to get through all of these charts. So just know I'm doing the best I can, and I'll try to get to as many charts as I can once I finish these few names. JPM. JPM is a laggard. So it was green on Friday, but it's nothing impressive. We have an hourly squeeze forming. We're getting over the hourly 50 RSI. I like JPM for a long over 135.49. We're sitting here at this daily tweezer bottom and daily 50 MA. Oh, good, Kevin. Great. So I like JPM here at the daily 50 MA for a long. MARA, I like it for a pullback buy. And bears will be waiting up at 865. Your high on Friday was 809. Let me see if I can mark that up for you. Right here. That was your high. Y'all have seen me teach this technique or system before on other pregame shows, that pullback buy. So the high was 809. I would say even 807. If we could hold that, that could be a good area to go long and stop out below 806. You're wrong. Using the prior day's high, waiting for price to fill that gap, and at that gap, enter along. This is a great trick to minimize risk and get your entry as close to support as possible, because remember, it's all about location, 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 location of entry. You could have the best trade thesis in the world. If you're entering at poor location, you could still lose money. SMH, I went over it. I am bullish SMH, and I like this potential daily cup and handle pattern. 231.05 is the key resistance to get over to confirm this daily cup and handle. XBI. Okay. XBI is green this morning. We're back in the zone. So we had this zone here. We stayed within it forever. We finally broke bull, and then we came back into the zone. That's not good. We don't want acceptance back into the zone. Okay, so the low was 84.16. So we really want to stay out this area. We already did our price discovery. This is Compton. This is where the battle went down. You don't want the bears or the gangs to push you back down into that street. You want to stay above it. So $85 is a key level going forward. We want XBI to clear that. A daily lower high is the more likely scenario compared to 89.63. We're testing the high of Friday, 87.15 this morning. That looks good. I think a pullback buy makes sense, and it may be 86.55. Where we opened on Friday may be a good area to go long on a pullback. Okay. Yep, we have more banks reporting, and regional banks are starting to report. Okay, AMC. AMC looks fine. I'm not getting excited. 4-hour EQ looks to be the most clear range here. Support 526. Hourly, you're losing the hourly EMAs. I would say bears have an edge here. If the market's bullish today, then of course that edge would be erased, but I do think bears have the advantage here. 558 resistance and 581. You got your blue bandana, you're ready to go to war. Okay, one more. UPST had a beautiful day on Friday. Has a lot of work to do. Bulls are looking for a pullback buy for an hourly higher low attempt, and you may get that at first 5-minute oversold. And if you're not using alerts, you're really missing out. Using alerts it's the cheapest trading assistant you can have, and it's so awesome to not have to look at every single chart up here and have every chart open and eyes on every chart every second of the day. Just set your alerts and close down the chart. Yeah, hit that rocket like button over in TradingView, and YouTube users, we have half of you have hit the like button. I appreciate it, and I thank you for being here. Yeah, SMH is close to 6-month resistance. All right, I appreciate y'all. If y'all could hit that like button again, give me a follow on Twitter at ChartGalLori. I'd appreciate it. TCGers, I will copy and paste my notes into the room in just a minute. Use stop losses.